What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking another look at Cepheus Protocol. We covered this a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly the last time I covered the game, and frankly, I was too lazy to Google it right before I went live. Would have taken all but 10 seconds, and we wouldn't even be off on this sidebar right now. But anyways, it's been a long time since we checked out the game. Cepheus Protocol, if you don't know what it is, this is a tactical strategy game about trying to save San Francisco from a zombie apocalypse taking place on Treasure Island. And so anyways, you start out at the beginning of the game and you have very limited resources and you kind of just have like a Delta Force team. And you have to build bases and take over sectors of the city and set up, HESCOs and all that kind of stuff to stop the zombies from advancing. You can blow out bridges and you can deploy tanks. And the game has been developing. I wanted to wait a while before I covered it again, though, because the last time we checked out the game, it was in reasonably rough shape. And I can say I've played this is actually the experimental branch that I'm playing on right here. I've played the experimental branch for about 3 hours, and the game is still pretty janky, but you can see it coming together. And in fact, it's gone through a number of structural changes that actually swap up the way that the game functions from the last time we played it. So I figured it's time to dive back on in. If after watching this, you wanted to check out the early access of Cepheus Protocol, I've got a link for you down below in the description. You can check that out down there. On top of that, you can also find a link to my Twitch stream and my Discord where you can find me live or talk to me in person, whichever you would prefer. As of right now, the game has 2 modes. It's got Pandemic and it's got Horde mode. Operator right here, they've added they've added a mode where you can drop, it's not even a mode, it's an option, but you can drop in like a Navy SEAL guy and you play as the Navy SEAL guy, kind of like, what was the name of the Command & Conquer game? Command & Conquer Renegades, that they tried to do like a third-person shooter, but also you had control over all your troops and whatnot. You can kind of do that, and this is where you customize your operator, but all the customization isn't really in the game yet. In Pandemic mode, that's the classic mode. That's where you're going to be basically sandbox defending the city from the zombie apocalypse. And then there's also Horde mode, which is you just squaring off against never-ending hordes of enemies to see how good of a score you can get. The game is going to have a full storyline campaign. As I understand it, it's coming fairly soon from browsing around on the forums. It seems like that's getting closer to deployment. It's been referenced many times on the forums in the last, month or two. And so anyways, I'm guessing they're getting closer there, but the development team seems to have a pretty good roadmap. They seem to put out a lot of devlogs and a lot of dev updates and a lot of podcasts talking about what they're working on. And so since their thumb definitely seems to be on the scale with this game, or at least their foot seems to be on home base, I've got a good feeling about it. It's definitely got rough edges, but if they can get that polished and smoothed out, I think it'll be in a good place, and it provides kind of a branch of gameplay that you don't really see from any other title, sort of a Battle for the Bronx type deal, if you've ever read World War Z. And so anyways, let's go ahead and start off a new game. We can customize the way that we want to play. Civilians are in the game, but they don't quite do what they're supposed to do yet because the system that incorporates them hasn't been fully put into the game yet. The buildings are there, so basically in later patches, like 1.2, as I understand it, that's going to be the big civilian overhaul. Basically, there's going to be civilians all over San Francisco, and when they find out that there's a military force like FEMA in the city, they're going to swarm to your base, and you're going to be responsible for setting up checkpoints that scan the civilians to see if they're infected and put them down if they are, and if they're healthy, you've got to set up like logistical supply chains to load them into like Chinook helicopters and fly them to ships that are going to come in demanding certain amounts of like civilians every X amount of time or something like that. Like, as of right now, that system's not in the game, but it will be. And so anyways, I'll probably leave the civilians on for right now. You can also play with factions on or off. Basically, there are anarchists that will take over certain chunks of the city, and there are also the police basically go rogue and start their own faction, and will also be competing for branches of the city. And it seems like there may be the intent to have like some kind of diplomacy there and like picking your allies as the game develops out further. But for right now, we're just going to play all by our lonesome without the factions turned on, because right now they just get chewed on by the zombies. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to skip the intro because it's basically like a very, very brief tutorial on how to use your troops. But anyways, let's go ahead and get on in here. So at the beginning of the game, I'm going to pause it up a little bit. We start out on this aircraft carrier, and we can go wherever we want. This is a totally sandbox San Francisco conquest real-time strategy game with zombies. We can deploy wherever you want. My advice, having played the game quite a bit, if you want to have a really easy time, deploy over here. If you want to have a semi-easy time, deploy over here. And if you want to have a really, really hard time, like balls to the wall, you're probably going to die in like 5 minutes, deploy over here somewhere. This little island is kind of an exception to that rule, but to keep things interesting so that we will see combat, but we won't get absolutely like Zerg rushed right at the beginning, I'm going to establish a base over on this side, I think, and try to take over this little chunk of the island. We can blow up the bridges. I will more than likely blow up... I don't know. I'll probably blow up this one because the zombies like to cross this one right here, and on a certain level, you have to kill the zombies to get XP and to level up your faction. And so if I blow up the leftmost bridge, the zombies basically just don't bother you, and you can take your time and do whatever you want. If you blow up this one, they flood through on this side pretty aggressively, and I think that sounds a little bit more interesting to me for filming a YouTube video. So let's get to it. As of right now, we've got this little tiny chopper. As you can see, we have soldiers that are riding on the door gunners. They will fire at enemies that are down on the ground while on these little door positions. There's also a pilot in there. So we've got 3 units right now. We've got Captain Winters. If she dies, the campaign is over. We've got an assault, and we've got an engineer. And then there is also a pilot in here, and maybe a radio guy. That might be the helicopter itself, actually. Yeah, I think it's helicopter, pilot, radio guy, assault, and engineer are on the helicopter right now. So let's go ahead and head towards the city. I don't know exactly where I want to make my base at. We'd like to have a little bit of open ground in order to make that work effectively. So I do think that this little, like, park area is not a bad idea. And it does put us kind of close to one of the bridges. This parking lot is not a bad idea either. I'm going to start the helicopter off this way, even though we're just talking. I really like this little back corner. The only downside to the back corner is that there doesn't seem to be any way to blow up buildings or get buildings out of the way with carpet bombing or anything else like that. And so it breaks line of sight, which means that enemies are going to come around these corners very tightly. In this game, the ultimate goal is you need to find patient 0. So there's one person, I think named Chelsea, who's basically patient 0, and she's in control of the zombie horde. So for a lot of zombie games, the zombies will do intelligent stuff, and you'll think to yourself, that's stupid. Why would zombies do that? They're basically motorized instinct. They're like jellyfish. Like, they just flow towards the nearest food source with no thought for their own safety. In this game, they're being controlled by a central sentient mind that is part of basically the zombie horde. And so anyways, when they do smart stuff in this game, it's because there's an actual human that is controlling them with her mind, and they're actively seeking out to protect their queen, sort of like Kerrigan style. We'll go ahead and get the helicopter on over there. Now, another organizational thing about the game is you might notice that there's borders around each of these areas. That's because each area of the city is capturable, and each one that you capture is going to have you get money coming in, basically government funding for being successful as the Cepheus Project, and then you can use that to buy more units, buy more buildings, you can upgrade your tiers, lots of little things to fiddle with as the game stands right now. But anyways, helicopter's on its way in. I do think that the textures on these guys, they pop in, like, I really feel like the textures should... I don't know, the pop-in seems a little bit aggressive on the high-resolution textures. Like, I really feel like the textures like that should be pretty... Did the helicopter try to fly in between the buildings? Here, come over here. The pathfinding in this game is not entirely great. It definitely, like the nav meshes and whatnot, they need to be fiddled with. I have a lot of units getting stuck when I was playing around with the game for 2 or 3 hours. It never affected any combat engagements or anything else like that, but with the density of buildings and everything, every now and again you'll get like one guy that gets stuck on a corner of something, and as you saw, our helicopter just did that on the building instead of drawing a nav mesh to go around with impassable areas. You will find some odd pathfinding things happen from time to time with this game. At least that's been my experience. So let's get to work, shall we? We need to land the helicopter right over here, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves set up with our first kind of little defensive area. Helicopter swinging back around. Let's go ahead and put the bird on the ground. There we go. The bird has landed. I'm going to hit Z for dismount, and we're going to dismount everybody on board by double tapping Z. And then with the helicopter still selected, I'd like to move the helicopter out of the way, but also to like a safe spot where the zombies can't get it. I want to preserve fuel on this vehicle. The fuel is the yellow meter on the vehicle from how I understand it. And so anyways, we're going to put this over here. We're going to land, and we're going to tell the helicopter to kill the engine so that we can use it as a resource later. And the first thing we really need to do, we need to call in our capture truck. The capture truck allows you to capture zones, and this is the first of the new features that are inside of Cepheus Protocol. The last time we played the game, every single one of these little cordoned off squares, it would have a central location that had like a radar dish in it, or like an improvised radar station set up. And if you had to basically capture the patrol point, like you had to sit on top of it until it was yours, and then the zombies were going to try and come and do the exact same thing, and that's how you flipped control of areas. No longer. Now you have these things called capture trucks. Capture trucks are effectively construction vehicles that can construct a whole bunch of different buildings that are largely concerned with your population cap and also with capturing territories. So I'm going to take this truck over here, and we're just going to park it on this side. And we are going to deploy it. And when this meter gets done filling up, we will now own this area. And what you'll notice is that we'll get $50 every 20 seconds now in order to help us out with the war effort. The next thing we need is our engineer. So let's kind of break him off from the rest of the group. And now that we control this area, you can see that it's got a blue ring around it. We need to clear out some of these storage containers. And we need to clear out some of these vehicles so that we have a little bit more building space. Oh, look at that, dude. There was a dead guy underneath that one. He's doing like a Wicked Witch of the West type deal. All right, so now that the capture truck is down, the first thing we want to do is we want to deploy a command tent. The command tent does the exact same thing that the control truck does. The only difference is this will allow us to undeploy our truck and use it for other zones. This maintains control of the zone, basically, so that we don't need the truck. However, this truck is going to stay exactly where it's at because we're going to use it to build up our troop forces and our numbers, and you can only deploy garrison tents from the capture truck. And so anyways, that's done right there. The next thing we need is a circ. This is basically our MCV headquarters if you've ever played something like Command and Conquer. We'll go ahead and drop that in right there. We don't want this building to get destroyed. It's very expensive. It increases our pop cap. It allows us to access the research menu. It allows us to do a lot of things, and so we don't want it to go anywhere. We also want to get some garrison tents down if we can. And so I would say, let's call it a garrison. We'll put a row of garrison tents over here. And I'm a stickler for things being lined up, so you'll forgive me. But I tend to be a little bit obsessive about my building placement. And unfortunately, there's no like grid lines or anything else you can snap in this game in order to line things up. And so it can be a little bit messy. That's a little bit off, but I guess it'll do. Like, I kind of hate it on a certain level, but it'll do. We're going to put Captain Winters over here to keep guard over the tents so that they don't get turned by the zombies. We are going to put, who is this? Kathy Taylor over here on this side to watch out that angle. We shouldn't get attacked by any enemies anytime soon. We should have about 5-10 minutes before we start taking attacks. But you do kind of want to hit the ground running in this game because the enemy is coming. Now that we've got that down, we're going to want to get ourselves a power generator, and we're going to want that to be somewhat centralized in the middle of the base. So there we go. The engineer's going to get after that. And then from there, we've got civilian holds. That's going to tie into the new system that comes into the game with future patches where the civilians, they go into the holding area, and then the holding area offloads to a helicopter that goes out to the aircraft carrier that's out there if they're all healthy, and then you get rewarded or whatever for rescuing people and getting them off the island. For right now, you kind of just have to protect them and hope for the best. There's 27,000 people on the island, and 72 of them have been made into zombies already. So we'll keep an eye on that meter, but the next thing we need is a barracks. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing down right here. I don't think it's going to fit right there. However, we can get it in right there. I would like the ability to tear down these fences to get rid of them. The fences, as of right now, the deconstruct tool doesn't work on them, but I wish that it did. I don't know. It can be really, really hard to find buildable space, but then again, I guess that's probably one of the principal challenges the game wants you to fiddle around with. The game does have some cool graphics, so when it rains, the tents get all shiny and they look wet. The garrison tents have different graphics when you put them down. They're the same shape, but they have different textures, just to kind of break the monotony apart, so that's kind of nice. And we have stuff online right now. We have 18 unit cap to play around with, and we've got to decide how aggressively we want to play around with that unit cap. The first thing that I definitely want is I would like to deploy another capture truck. So I'm going to purchase one of those. So that's on its way. And that leaves us with like $7 grand to play around with. I think I'd like to have 2 heavies. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, anytime you recruit a unit, they do have alternate weapons that you can play around with. So, for example, you can have them take a LM60, a 249, an AA-12. They can have a riot shield. I don't really know what the point of that is. You can get them a Razorback, I guess, just in case you wanted them to be kind of like a hybrid. For right now, what we'll probably do is we'll probably take 2 of these guys right here. We'll purchase 2 of them. You can also train them for longer durations. That makes the deployment time take a lot longer, but they will spawn in at higher levels of veterancy. And the levels of veterancy, from what I've seen so far in this game, do matter. They matter a lot. You really, really want veterancy, because when you have greenhorn troops that don't know what they're doing, they do very, very poorly. They miss a lot of shots. They waste a lot of ammo. Every single one of these units has their own magazines and their own bullets and whatnot, and they need to be able to restore those. And so ammo efficiency is absolutely a concern in this game when you're trying to set up sort of defensive areas. So our 2 heavies have now para-dropped in. We're going to have the heavies set up on each of these thoroughfares over here. Where's my other heavy at? There she is. So we'll put a heavy right there and a heavy right there to watch those 2, because chances are they're going to come around this bridge and they're going to try to hit us pretty soon. We already have a capture truck, so let's take the capture truck maybe on up to that central area right there and just see how it does. I don't know. We'll put it up here. If it ends up getting destroyed and we don't hold on to our command tent, we'll still make money for the few minutes that it's up and live. Every single character also has other options. Everybody has flashlights. All of our soldiers have silencers. They all have night vision. They all have thermal vision and stuff like that. And so anyways, they're equipped in pretty cool ways. Oh, I put the engineer over here. That's my bad. You go over there and face that way. It also has unit formations, so when you've got people together in groups, you can put them into different formations like chevrons and grids and things of that nature. Yeah, this is probably fine. Let's go ahead and deploy the truck right here to get some extra money flowing. Hopefully, zombies don't run the line and go wipe this out. That would be upsetting. I would hate it. But if it happens, it happens. We're going to want to pinch off these bridges about as soon as we possibly can. And we will do that with a carpet bomb, which we can call in using our commander. But for right now, not that important. You stop what you're doing right here. Yeah, you're supposed to be deploying, right? Did you deploy? You deployed. Good. We got 90 bucks coming in now every 20 seconds. With the final vestiges of money that I have, each of these guys costs about $960. Let's call it... Yeah, we'll give them all M16s or like M4s, whatever that might be. And it looks like I can afford probably 3 of these guys. We're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to fold them into group 1 just to keep them kind of organized. I haven't figured out how to fiddle around with the groups yet. I think you just drag and drop. But anyways, I haven't fiddled around with the groups too much since the game got like refactored and fiddled with. Another thing we might want to do is we might want to start running a power grid this way. This guy can actually build Hescos, and he can build jersey walls and barbed wire and, you know, decorations just in case you want your base to look a little bit more lived in. There are things to fiddle around with. Hoping those troops get here soon because I think we're going to need them.
I have a bad feeling about this.
There we go. They're para-dropping in. You've got a bad feeling about this. I've got a bad feeling about this. We are going to want to deploy the MG in a forward position right there. And we're also going to want to deploy an MG right here to cover that lane. Those guys are already off in that direction. Good. You guys come over here and guard that front. And we should be in solid shape now. I don't think there should be too many things trying to hurt us. When we get back up to how much money does it take to put down a command tent? 1,000. We can do it right now. Good. Put a command tent down. There's our command tent. That booping you're hearing, that's basically sightings of Patient Zero. She's capturing, apparently, the Point Hill helipad and, like, hospital, I guess? Is that a hangar? No, it's like a dock. But anyway, she's capturing stuff right now, just like we're capturing stuff. What you'll notice is as time goes along, yeah, there she is right there. What you'll notice as time goes along is she'll leave this kind of Zerg goo all over the place. Those are basically enemy bases that we're going to have to knock over at some point once we have fully sort of established a beachhead. We're going to mobilize this truck because we've already got a command tent down. And we're going to keep snatching and grabbing territory to the best of our ability. We're going to do the next one inside this stadium because this stadium is really, really defensible and not hard at all to hold. And so we're going to send that over to there and grab it. We don't have hardly any money right now, so we really want to work on our economy. And I'll probably continue just grabbing areas and moving on until things start to happen.
To remain indoors and off the streets for your safety.
Other options that we can play around with our engineer is I would recommend we need to start increasing our line of sight in this area. And the best way to do that is going to be with a power pylon that sort of runs over to here. And then we'll put another pylon right here and another pylon right there. And we're going to put in spotlights because spotlights allow your troops to see the enemy a lot sooner and engage from a further distance. Because unlike the zombies, we're sort of limited by eyesight right now. That's pretty much it. So now that the power pole's down, I think the power poles only cost like $100 too. Like, they're not that expensive. Put another one in right there, because I think we'll probably get hit through this line a lot sooner than we get hit through the other lines. The zombies will be wearing pumpkin heads because it's October right now, and the developers always put Christmas hats and stuff on the zombies depending on what season it is. So if you see that the zombies have glowing orange heads, it's because they have a jack-o'-lantern on their head because it's Halloween, and the developers like festive stuff like that. We could deploy a spotlight right here, right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that just to give my troops a little bit of extra eye line. And is the truck in position right now? It is. Good. Let's go ahead and get to work capturing this thing. I would like extra money. That's what I would like. So let's go ahead and capture that bad boy right there. Good job, little truck. Hit them headlights. The game has really good lighting effects. The lights look really, really fantastic in this game. I think they look great. I don't really have any complaints about them. Our next $1,000 is going to go towards another command tent because I find having a strong economy really dictates whether or not you win in this title.
What can I do for you?
You really want to
love
focus
hard
on
work.
matters of state if you can in the early game. We can actually fit a spotlight in right there as well, so we'll go ahead and do that. I don't think I'm going to put in any Hescos or anything over here, or like any walls. I don't feel like it's necessary right now. I don't know, like we could, but meh. I'm kind of getting the basics set up at the moment. The final thing we're going to need is we are going to need a radio guy. So let's go ahead and grab a radio guy real quick. We're going to use him to bomb out these bridges. In between that cut right there, I'm still just slowly cordoning off and capturing everything so that we have good money coming on in, because I want my troop stack to be quite large by the time we go across the bridge and decide to get some, which the sum has not really come to the getting yet, which is kind of weird. Normally on the first night I get hit a lot, but zombies haven't really done anything yet. I don't know. Oh, look at that. A zombie snuck through and back-capped me.
A base structure has been damaged.
Yeah, there's something going on over there. Hard to say what because we don't have line of sight, but that's okay. It's fine. What we need to do then is we are going to reinforce. We're going to get like a squad of 5 guys. We're going to load them all in the chopper, and we're going to have them fly through and bulldoze the bridges real fast. And then we can also use the helicopter as air superiority to make sure this guy doesn't keep flowing through and backcapping everything that I'm focusing on, because that would be an annoyance, and I would hate it. For right now, though, they can take that base. I don't mind. Go ahead and give me... Honestly, I kind of feel like 2 of these guys will be okay. I can't afford 2 guys. We got to wait another 30 seconds. All right, fair enough. Actually, I'll probably just take the 1 then. Yeah, give me 1 guy, and we'll peel like 1
Ready to
assault
go.
off of each of these groups.
A base facility is damaged.
That's okay. All right, well, we've lost control of that area. It's okay, though. I'm going to fix this in just a minute. We're going to pull the helicopter over to here.
station.
We'll get these guys loaded into the helo, and we will start blowing up bridges in order to create an area of control that the enemy can't get to. You can swap your guys' weapons
I'll handle
at
it.
any time.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You guys go ahead and land.
Moving there.
We're going to load you 3 on the chopper.
As you command.
All right, and let's get everybody up in the air.
As you order. Give me orders.
All right, so we want to blow out these bridges over here. So let's do it. But first things first, let's see if we can track down that zombie over here that wiped out my base. Just as kind of a backup plan. Oh, there they are. Okay, yeah, we got zombies all over the place. Fair enough. Yeah, that's kind of an issue. All right, well, pull the helicopter in. As you can see, there's zombies everywhere down here. They're going to slowly get greased by the guys in the helicopter. It's going to take them a little bit to clean up the mess, but we definitely don't want to have hostiles behind our bridge. Like, this is kind of like a humans-only zone. And you guys have really terrible aim. You guys are doing a bad job right now, but then again, I guess I probably couldn't do any better either flying from a moving object in the sky. Be forewarned, you are not safe in a helicopter. The AI and the zombies, they definitely have things that can shoot down helicopters. So just, you know, something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and get the helicopter moving. They are now aware of the fact that we are here, so they are going to start hitting us, I would think. We need to make a strong decision. There they are right there. Yeah, you can see them. We are going to have to make a decision about this bridge over here. We'll clean them up in just a second, but we need to call in an airstrike over here. There we go. And then you get out of the way. All right. Bridge is now knocked out, so they can't come in that way anymore. This means that my troops should be free to advance and take this point right here.
On the go.
So that's exactly what I'm going to have them do. I'm going to leave this second contingency in the background just in case, because I don't know how many zombies are on the island with us. There may be more than just these groups we've been finding around here that have made it down and into this area. And so anyways, I'm trying to be careful about it.
Moving there. I've got
All
your
right,
6.
so now with you guys all nice and set up, we are also going to bring the engineer up. So we'll bring him over to here. Oh, you guys just let him get away? Don't do that. Follow him. Yeah, stay on the attack run. Definitely don't let them get to our base or whatever, because they're probably trying to backcap us as we speak. So we have, like, limited time here. Ooh, they went in between the buildings. That was smart. Look at you guys over here. Look at you guys over here thinking with your big old zombie brains. There we go. Is that all of them? Do we have, like, a full sweep? Those things you're seeing on the ground, those are DNA. If you have scientists, which are little hazmat suit guys inside your squads, they can pick up the DNA, and it allows you to level up your faction. And by leveling up your faction, I mean, where is the doctrines menu? Doctrines menu, right here. Basically, there's going to be these talent trees. They're still kind of in development, but you can spend your science, and you can use your basically faction-wide level ups from killing zombies, rescuing civilians, and picking up DNA to buy things. You can get things like electric fences. You can get bigger and more badass helicopters. You can get white phosphorus bombs. You can get tanks. You can get, you know, like, I think the mutt is like a, yeah, it's like a turret on the back of like a Humvee. But anyways, you can get cooler things is my point. That's what I'm putting out there for you. Is that done? Yeah, we want to mobilize this truck then. And then we're going to want to bring the chopper back down this way. And honestly, we're just going to kill the chopper's engine for right now because I don't... Maybe we'll patrol a little bit. I'll fly around the island and see if we see anything. But in the meantime, we need to get this guy mobilized. And we need to recap the territory that we lost. So I'm going to bring him as soon as I get an opportunity down to that parking lot right there. As of right now, it doesn't look like we have engagement, but I would like the machine gunner to be set up for maximum DPS.
Holding my ground.
And then over here, we want to make a unified grid, I think. So I'll put in another Jenny right here. I love you, Jenny. All right, so there we go. We got that right there. And then is my truck in position? No, he's not in position yet. Helicopter didn't put anything on radar, but I'd still like to check this area. I don't like the... Like, I want this place to be totally undead-free and only accessible via one location before I give it the thumbs up and I can start just kind of passively building and doing whatever I want without worrying about threats. But we've effectively set up a bastion over here, which is really, really good. The other thing we'll want to do is we probably want to set up some Jersey barricades or some fences. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, we could probably do something like that right there. Yeah, I think that's workable. They'll get that
As you
deployed.
command.
We'll take these guys and we're going to move them slightly
Moving out.
outside the wire. And then helicopter, where are you at? Over here. And you don't see anything? Well, if you don't see anything, I trust you. So let's capture that zone. We're going to bring the helicopter on back. We're going to offload this team right here. And then I'll probably keep that team there for just a little while longer because I'm still feeling a little bit antsy about how many enemies there might be. Having captured that zone, we need a command tent. So there we go. Command tent is now down. Fence is almost done over here.
Build all day, party all night.
Is that what you do in the Army Corps of Engineers? I'm learning new things today. It doesn't like my placement over here. Oh, we have contact. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Like a super zombie? I don't know. At least he got stopped by the fence, so that's good. Wow, he dropped a lot of DNA. What are you guys? Where did you dudes even come from? Oh no. Okay, yeah, let's maybe
At your command.
let's bring the rest of
As
our
you wish.
forces over here. Let's sit the helo down. I think we're going to want to I think there's a solid chance that we're going to want to have more
handle
boots
it.
on the ground. I wasn't
to go.
expecting them to send an elite so quickly. It says patient zero is like right over. Oh, we got another contact, huh? Oh, yeah, look at that right there. We got a bunch of zombies coming across the bridge. Light them up, boys. Let them have it. All right, let me get 2 machine guns with intersecting fire on either side of the road. So we're going to go like that. And I would like to have, where's my other MG at?
On station.
I don't know where my other MG's at. Where's my other MG at? Oh, my other MG's on the way over here. You can give more complicated orders to these troops. You can make them patrol. You can put them in halt mode. You can have them fire in advance. You can have them sprint and run and basically lay out. You used to be able to make them go prone or something like that from what I remember, but I don't see the option anymore. So now we have intersecting lanes of fire right there. That's good.
Give me orders.
The rest of you,
On station.
just
I
hang
have a
tight.
bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this too. They're
On
starting to hit
station.
us. Want the radio guy in the back so I can
think
call
I
in
have very much training
airstrikes as
duty, sir.
necessary. Although airstrikes on the
I've got
bridge
this
are
under control.
probably a bad idea because then I'll only be able to access the rest of San Francisco via helicopter, and that'll make things complicated. Huh, I wonder why it doesn't like the placement. I don't know what it's doing. The walls are being weird and buggy right now. Don't really know what to tell you. Sometimes the walls are a little bit strange. We'll build one right there, basically. It's not going to look pretty, but it'll get the job done so that we've got like a centralized choke point that everything has to go through. And now that we have the Jenny down, we're probably going to want to put a row of turrets over here. Later on, we'll probably have mortar units back in this parking lot over here, and they'll be firing into the city in order to smoke out the enemy with either phosphorus or normal default mortars. Either one works for me. I don't care. Mortars in general just make me happy. I need this truck back. We need to capture the rest of the city. We've still got 2-3 chunks that we haven't taken yet. From what it looks like to me, 2 chunks. But that gives us a pretty solid economy. I would like to move this force forward. I'm a little bit nervous about it because I don't know what's going to happen. But I'd like to take a beachhead to the other side, I think. So give me 2 scientists, and my scientists will have shotguns. That's very loud. That's incredibly loud. Ow. And then we'll also take, like, just maybe 5 more normal soldiers, I guess. And we will give them all, I don't know, give them scars. Scars are pretty cool. Are they the OT 5-1 scars, though, or are they the 5.56 scars? This is an important question. Ammo check doesn't look great right now, so I'm going to drop an ammo in here.
I'll handle it.
So there we go. As you can see,
Give me
the ammo is
orders.
falling in from the sky. My scientists are
order.
taking the field, which is going to allow us to get some research going.
At your
And
command.
then we should have 4 or 5 more guys
there.
coming down. I don't really, want you. You might be infected. Crap. We've got civilians
bad
coming to our
feeling about
base right
this.
now.
Ready to go.
Well, it's entirely possible that they might be infected. It's hard to say.
think I'm
You
ready
guys
for
go
this.
grab the Dunna real quick.
Moving there. This isn't
But if
what I
you see any
expected.
zombies, run for your life.
I've got to keep it together.
All right.
Could go wrong.
Scientists got all the
I
Dunna,
don't think I'm trained for
and
this.
we will maybe
Moving
leave
out.
2
On the
guys
go.
over here at the base just to
Moving
keep an
there.
eye on it, just in case any of these humans are infected down here,
Moving
because they
there.
can definitely be infected, and they can turn right in the middle of your base, which is really, really bad and can lead to a wipe. You don't want that to happen. Now that he's good to go, we need to undeploy you. And I'm going to go to my circ. Oh my god, it's so noisy. Medics are probably a good thing to have too. So we've unlocked the medic now, and I'll probably unlock phase 2 buildings, I think. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just pay the $6 grand now. All right. Task
I
force.
got you, sir.
Let's go. Roll out, folks.
What?
I want you guys in a wedge formation, please. Is my engineer in
What
there?
can I do
Yeah,
for
keep
you?
my engineer back here.
Give me an order.
And what I'd like from my engineer is give me a automated machine gun right there, and we'll put 2 automated machine
me
guns
orders.
here
On
just in
station.
case they try to break through. All right, here we go, boys. Let's keep it tight. We're going into the jaws of hell itself.
I've got your 6.
This would be the point in the military movie where it would have like that horn that's like, hey ha ha, hey ha ha, hey ha. You know, like it had that one lonely horn in the background. There's always somebody just like walking in slow motion. Bam bam. Bam bam. All right. Let's see how bad it is over here. It could be really bad, or it could be not quite so bad.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Just sort of depends. Go ahead and do me a favor and set up at
I'll
a
handle
slight
it.
angle right there. Need the helo for recon. Helo, get up in the air. Let's go. I need you to be eyes in the sky. Clear out some of this fog of war for me, would you? We got a whole bunch of zombies trying to get in from over there. Good to know. Yeah, it's pretty bad over here. It's looking a wee bit murky, if I say so myself. Badder things on this side. The last thing I want is to get pinched in here. My thought is this. We build a base with walls right at the base of here to be our foothold. And then we push out from there. Hopefully my helo doesn't get
As you
got.
command.
You guys
Ready
come
to
down
go.
this way. And we have zombies building bases over here. Okay. So we're not totally surrounded yet, but we will be soon. It looks like they haven't actually finished taking over this side of the island. It looks like they've hit this side pretty hard. But otherwise, has not really been an issue. It's just a question of which direction do
On
we want to
station.
push. I'm going to push this way. We'll keep the helo in the backfield, though. Just to keep an
At
eye.
your command.
Where are you guys
Give me
going?
orders.
Where you guys go? Why you guys going back on there?
As you wish. Moving out. Moving there.
There we go. Pathfinding was being weird. They're trying to go back across the
Ready
bridge.
to go.
We'll have them go this way, and we will have attack move as they
I'll
move
handle it.
towards here, just in case they run into anything. Helicopters keeping an eye in the sky. We do have a small patrol moving right here. We may want to take a contingency and have them form up the rear guard
I've got your 6.
before we
on the
push any
go.
further. Yeah, go ahead and keep eyes on them. I want to know where they're coming from.
I'll handle it.
Break these guys off. Give me a separate detachment right there. Because I think we're about to be fighting in 2 directions. Well, it doesn't look like they're pushing in or pressing. Okay, helo. Come back over here. We need to get a couple guys inside the helo, and we're going to use them to harass. We're going to basically use them as elevated skirmishers to mess with the enemy. These guys might be using... Enemy juggernaut spotted where? Oh, yeah, there's a big dog right there. There he is. Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out for right now. Okay, yeah, he's going to be a problem that I don't feel like dealing with, but ultimately we will have to deal with.
I have a bad feeling about this. As
This
you ordered.
detachment further on
station.
down the road. This detachment, cover the
I've
flank.
got your 6.
Okay, a couple more zombies down. If that rightward flank is good, we'll push up the street this way, have them cover that street, so on, and we'll just leapfrog street by street with the clear. Oh yeah, and I forgot to deploy the commando. You guys probably want to see what the commando looks like. I don't think I can actually do the commando on anybody. I think I actually have to specifically deploy the operator. Here we go. I'll deploy the operator so you can see what that looks like too, just in case that's like an aspect of the gameplay that you're interested in. You guys
On the
push up a
go.
little bit
Your
further.
command.
You guys reposition
Moving
on the
out.
next road, although this one's going to be harder to cover because it's a little bit thinner. Flashlights on.
As you wish.
Flashlights on. Flashlights do affect performance. You will notice it.
At your command.
NVGs tend to be a little bit easier to deal with if that's what you want to do. We have guys on corner over here. Guys on corner. All right. So now we can swap to the operator. I can show you what that looks like. So you can play as the operator right here. It basically plays just like a third-person shooter. If you see a zombie, you just kind of aim and shoot. It's like playing Grand Theft Auto, in all honesty. Not entirely that much different. However, you kind of have limited troop control while you're in this mode, so be careful with it. Nope. Oh, they're kind of fast, dude. They're kind of ah, God, friendly fire. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for that backup. I appreciate it tremendously. But yeah, this is Cepheus Protocol. You've only seen probably about, a fourth of what there is to fiddle with in this game. There are lots of buildings, and there are lots of tanks and things like that you can deploy. Who is taking over all those blue areas over there? Dabba-dee-dabba-die. A little tiny bit worried. Did they make it across the bridge? Are we getting hit on the bridge? Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I don't remember how to get out of this mode.
I think I see something.
Yeah, it appears as though we may be getting attacked on the bridge.
What
The
can I
good
do?
news is they did get the machine gun turret down, so that's nice. Go ahead and put another turret right there. I think having more turret in this area sounds great to me. Like those are pretty big guns too. Like those are pretty chunky boy guns, dude. Like 50 cals maybe. I mean, they look even bigger than a Ma Deuce though. They're kind of huge. There we go. Deploy that bad boy right there. Perfect. What else is going on over here? Enemy base, helicopter. Anyways, this is Cepheus Protocol. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There is some jankiness, especially I think we're going to feel it the most is with things like the pathfinding. Oh, he fell into the ocean. I didn't even know they could do that. Where you're going to feel it the most is with the pathfinding, in my opinion. But at this point in its development, I can feel the game coming together, and I like this gameplay a lot better than the previous Capture Point gameplay. Like, I think this is a lot more entertaining. And so anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie gaming. Today we had Cepheus Protocol, a game that's a pretty interesting idea, but it does suffer from some pathfinding issues, as we're having right now while we walk down this road. That being said, I do like how all the characters can have their weapons swapped around, and you can play as the operator. Like, there's fun things to be done here, and they're toying around with a lot of really interesting ideas, in my opinion. And so anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, folks.